Hey boys and girls, Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. Start this week with a quick movie review. I went to see The Favorite, or The Favorite, as it's spelled. It's very British. I have to say I was kind of disappointed. Firstly, I have to say, because it was a limited release, it was only playing in a couple AMC theaters, and I didn't want to go all the way up to Kips Bay, so I was like, I'll just go to this 19th Street Theater again. But I made a point of buying my ticket for Saturday on Thursday. That way it was close enough. I felt like Thursday night I bought my ticket and reserved my seat, thinking it might be okay. It won't be like a week in advance or whatever. It's just a couple days, so maybe they won't sell my seat to someone else, as they've done a couple times already. And when I got there, the whole row is taken up except for the one seat in the middle, and I'm like, that's my seat, I'm okay. And I go, and it was D7, and there's someone sitting in D8, and I was like, God damn it! But then it was okay, because he looked at me and he was like, I'm really sorry, but would you mind sitting there? We had that seat and this seat, but we're together, and we want to sit next to each other. Do you mind sitting over there instead of here? And I'm like, oh, no, that's fine. And I said to him, I've just had some problems with this theater, selling my seat to someone else, and it's really annoying. But here, it was fine, because he was in 7 and she was in 9, and he was like, would you mind sitting in 7 so I can sit in 8 and sit next to my girlfriend? And I'm like, that is not a problem. That's fine. The movie itself, the costumes and sets are just gorgeous. There's Oscar nominations coming for that for sure. And probably for some of these performances, because the actresses are all fantastic. And my only complaint about The Favorite was the exceedingly leisurely pace of the film. You know, it's takes its time. So, but then the ending just sort of fizzled out. It just sort of stopped. You know, much like my complaint with Fantastic Beasts, it didn't have an ending. It just sort of said, okay, now we're done. And I was like, wait, that was it? I thought it was building to something, and it just sort of... I felt like it fizzled out. Maybe it was too highfalutin for me. I don't know. But if a British period costume drama with, some wicked humor in it and stuff, and scheming and plotting and funny lines, if this kind of a period piece seems like your cup of tea, give it a try. Just know the ending isn't what you might want. It just sort of fizzles out. On to gaming, I have to admit I didn't make a lot of progress in Okami this past week. I didn't have a lot of luck with the trains. There was not an opportunity. They were very crowded, and I couldn't get a position where I could actually play Okami more than a couple of times. So I didn't really make that much progress. But I also haven't made much progress in Red Dead Redemption 2 either, because for some reason I have found myself sucked back into No Man's Sky again. I had already started the community event last week, and in fact I decided that I wanted to check in on the community event because it was set up in such a way that everyone is supposed to scan as much flora as they can for Polo, and it's added to a big group total. And you can get... each time you finish a tier, you unlock more rewards that you can buy with your Quicksilver at the Anomaly Station. So I wanted to make sure that we got Tier 1 finished so I could get the emotes that were new. There were 3 new emotes. And so I wanted to check in again, and what I didn't remember was that it's actually a 2-week mission, community event. So I thought it was going to end on Thursday, but it's actually ending next Thursday, so I was like, oh, there's plenty of time. And I think we've actually finished Tier 2, so I'm hoping we can finish Tier 3, because it's a kind of a cool Korvax helmet that I'm thinking of maybe getting. But, I just started to play just to see how the event was going, and could I get my emotes, and I did, but then I'm like, oh, but then I could also get coordinates for a black hole, and I still haven't gone through the black hole because I'm like, oh, what's on this planet? Oh, what's on that planet? And I just find myself just sucked back into this game. Especially because one of the planets I landed on was like this gorgeous tropical planet, and I'm just like, those are the ones that I love because I land and then I'm like, let me just walk around. I don't fly around in my ship. I literally just start walking in a direction, and then I have to summon my ship to me because I've like walked forever, and I'm not walking back. But I just love walking around the trees and the sun and seeing the creatures, and it's very soothing and relaxing, and I love that. Very low stress. But I also feel like I'm gonna always keep going back to No Man's Sky because it is the most open world game I've ever seen. I mean, not only just because it's procedurally generated solar systems and planets and whatever, it's like, so it is literally unlimited worlds. It is the most open game. But also because you can play it how you see fit. If you want to be a space pirate and shoot up ships, fine, you can do that. If you want to have a freighter and like go on missions and like send it off and send ships off and collect you rewards from around the universe, you can do that too. I personally am an explorer. I like to go from planet to planet to planet, system to system to system, land on every planet, scan what I can, see what I can see, and when I get bored or if it's too dangerous and I get frustrated, I just move on. And I love the idea that you can play it like you want. Because I'm finding that that's what's kind of ruining Red Dead 2 for me. Because the story missions in Red Dead 2, I'm not enjoying them really, because they're kind of ruining the experience for me. Like, I'm playing my Arthur Morgan as a nice guy, and I say hi to people in the towns, and I do good deeds for people, and, you know, then I have a story mission that forces me to kill a bunch of people, and I feel bad about it. But, like, that's the thing about this game, is, like, I realized also last week that, because Red Dead 2 is such a realistic world, they've gone out of their way. Everything, not only does it look completely photorealistic and amazing, but, like, everything in it is real. Like, you have to make sure that you eat, you have to make sure that you bathe or you smell, you have to, you know, protect people in your group. It's like, everything is so real, like fishing and hunting, and it's just, they've put so much realistic detail into everything, and they've created such a realistic world that I find myself playing it as if it were real. As opposed to Grand Theft Auto, which was just a big cartoon, and you would just steal cars left and right, run pedestrians down as you careen around the city at top speeds and jumping off bridges and stuff. Like, those were set up for fun. Whereas Red Dead 2, it's almost like it's so realistic that it's almost not fun. It's still kind of fun, but it's not the Grand Theft Auto kind of fun where you're just, it's a playground, you know? Because I did a mission where usually at the end of a mission your horse is like there waiting for you. But this time, I guess I didn't leave my horse in the right spot, so it was still way back there, and it didn't come to me. And I was like, well, I could steal somebody's horse and ride over there. And I was like, but I don't want to steal their horse, because I'd be pissed if someone stole my horse, and I don't want to do that to somebody. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. Like, but I treat the game world more realistically because it's so real that I'm thinking, well, I don't want to steal his horse because he needs his horse to live. It's, you know, I'll just walk and run and go get my horse, and it was fine. And I did, because I didn't want to steal somebody's horse. But then I go and do a story mission where I have to, like, beat up dudes on a train so they'll give me their watch. And that doesn't make me feel good, you know? I don't like that kind of thing. And then there was another mission that I did that was supposed to be like a simple, it felt like a simple side mission where you're just doing a little sheep herding to, like, raise money for the group, but it ended up turning into another story mission that ended up where you shoot your way out of Valentine and it's a complete disaster and you kill a bunch of people and you have to go to a whole new camp. Although I like this new camp, I like the first camp with the nice view, but this one's nice because it's right on the lake and I can do all kinds of fishing because I like the fishing. It's very soothing and relaxing. So I hope everyone in my group in camp likes fish stew, because I'm not hunting game anymore. I'm literally just fishing and giving it and being like, here you go. So it's weird. I find myself wishing that Red Dead 2, I love the world, I love exploring it, it's so realistic and it's amazing, but there's a part of me that wishes that they'd set it up like an Elder Scrolls game, like Skyrim, where you create your character, dress him up, find a camp, and like just sort of explore this world, and have a bunch of different gangs that you can like pick a gang, like one's really violent, one's really nice, and one's all about stealing but not killing, like whatever, like different kinds of gangs, and you can like explore and investigate them, and then decide if you want to join a gang or not. Or you can like buy a house or build your own house and like start a family and like hunt, fish, do errands for people, whatever, like very, very open world RPG. But I have to keep reminding myself that Red Dead 2 is not an open world RPG. It is a story game. It is a story adventure, and you are playing a character that is a specific character and will have an adventure. And you don't have that much control over the story. But what's funny is that now they've launched the beta for Red Dead Online, and I look at that and I'm like, that's the game. Like, you create a character, you dress them up, they drop you into the world, and you set up a camp, and you run around and you explore and you do stuff, and you can do like missions for people and whatever. There's like a loose story, and you can like do missions for people and whatever, and do whatever you want. Team up with people, fight people, whatever. And I'm like, that sounds more like the game that I would want to play. Except for the fact that it's online and you're going to be playing with like 20, 25 other people who are all trying to kill you, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a few people who would be like, hey, do you want to team up and go on this mission? And I'd be like, sure, let's do that, that'll be fun. But I just don't like the idea of like walking around Valentine and then suddenly this other player comes along and is like, there's another player, bang bang, and they shoot me in the head and I'm dead. Like, how is that fun? But that's how I feel like online games, that's how I feel like it would be. I don't know if it would or not. I haven't tried online yet. I don't know if I'm gonna. I feel like if I'm gonna try online, it would be like well down the road after people have stopped playing. Because I understand, I've seen articles and stuff, people are complaining about like the economy of it, and everything's really expensive, and it's kind of crazy, and there's a lot of grinding, and people are getting frustrated and annoyed with it. So I'm wondering if like they'll abandon it quickly and then I could try it. Because I kind of want to play it because I like the idea of creating my own character and having an open adventure and doing what I want to do. But I'd rather do that in single player. I don't want to do it online. I don't really play online because it's not that I don't play well with others, it's that I feel a lot of the times the others don't play well with me. The only online games I can play are cooperative online where there's no killing of each other. Like Destiny was fine because you helped each other to succeed in the mission. And No Man's Sky is awesome because it's just whatever, like you can't kill each other and you're just exploring together. But here I'm just afraid that people are going to try to kill me and that'll just frustrate me and be annoying. Also, I don't want to get distracted by the online side of the game when I'm still working on the story missions. I don't know how many chapters there are in the game. I'm on 3 now, I think. So we'll see what happens. And come back next time and I'll talk about more games, and I'm sure I won't have finished Okami, and I'm probably going to have more complaints about Red Dead 2. Hopefully I can stay away from No Man's Sky long enough, except that I'm going to have to check back to see if we've unlocked the Tier 3 so I can get that Korvax helmet. And then the problem is that I'm going to be like, oh, but what's on that planet over there? And then I just get lost again. Lost in space. It's such a good game. I'm obsessed. I just hope they never release a VR component. If they ever make it VR compatible and I can do No Man's Sky in VR, I'll never leave the house. Forget it. I'm doomed. So I will see you next time, and that's it for now. I've gone on way too long. This is a long episode. Sorry about that, folks. Bye!